It's 1 a.m. Your body is still, but your mind won't stop. A story is forming in your head, one that never happened. Almost 2 a.m., and you're wide awake, lost in thought. In your mind, you're somewhere else entirely. Someone else entirely. Your body stays in bed. Your mind checks out completely. Why we escape into fake scenarios, and what it says about us. Ever wonder why your brain does this every single night? There's the room you're lying in, and the world you build. Every night, you slip quietly into that second world. Your brain has a name for this, a very specific one. Psychologists call it maladaptive daydreaming, and it's more common than you think. In there, you're powerful, confident, exactly who you want to be. Out here, you're just lying in the dark, same as always. One version of you thrives, the other just waits for sleep. At first, it feels good. Then something starts to feel off. Look closely, and you'll see the story playing behind your eyes. This isn't random. It's your brain's own coping mechanism at work. So why does your mind do this? And what's it protecting you from? Picture this. You're at a party and no one notices you. That feeling of being invisible? Your brain remembers it exactly. Now picture the version where everyone's eyes are on you instead. In your mind, you're the center of the room, finally seen. Back in bed, you're replaying that feeling, chasing it on purpose. Whatever reality didn't give you, your imagination quietly fills in. As a kid, maybe you stood outside, watching everyone else belong. So your mind built a door and let you walk through it. That same ache from childhood still shows up in your fantasies tonight. The fantasy delivers exactly what reality has been withholding from you. Maybe it's love, a connection that feels effortless, easy, real. Back in the dark room, you're smiling at something that isn't there. Maybe it's winning, finally saying the thing you never got to say. In reality, you're still replaying the argument you actually lost. On one side, unmet needs. On the other, a mind determined to meet them. Your imagined self stands taller, stronger, more sure of everything. And somehow, your real body starts to relax right along with it. The curtain falls on that scene, but another one is already waiting. Here's what's actually happening inside your brain right now. Cortisol, your stress hormone, starts dropping as your body settles. Dopamine, the reward chemical, starts quietly rising to take its place. A stressed brain looks nothing like a brain lost in a good daydream. As the fantasy unfolds, your whole nervous system starts to calm. The room goes quiet. The outside world starts to fade away. Less light, less sound, less distraction, more room for the story. The darker it gets outside, the brighter your inner world becomes. Less external noise always means more internal narrative. Your mind opens door after door, each one leading somewhere rewarding. Success behind one, adventure behind another, love behind a third. You pick one, and the scene shifts instantly around you. Every small win inside the fantasy gives your brain a tiny reward. Your jaw unclenches, your shoulders drop. You didn't even notice. Your heart rate slows from a nervous rhythm to something steady. Body and mind, calming down together, completely in sync. This isn't weakness. It's simply your brain trying to self-soothe. And for a moment, everything goes quiet. In this world, you're not just living the scene. You're directing it. Every character moves exactly the way you decide they should. Real life rarely goes according to plan. This one always does. Here, everything is ordered. Everything makes sense. Nothing is random. Don't like how it played out? Just rearrange it and try again. Rewind, replay, adjust. Your mind edits until it feels right. In here, you get to write the ending yourself. Maybe in real life, that conversation ended badly, and you walked away hurt. But in your mind, you say exactly the right thing this time. And this time, you win the moment completely, on your own terms. One outcome stays unresolved. The other gets rewritten until it feels finished. You even control how you carry yourself, every detail, every posture. For once, you're the one holding the strings, not someone else. Back in bed, your fingers twitch slightly, like you're still directing. Somewhere in your mind, there's a script only you have written. Control at night often makes up for the chaos you feel by day.
Slowly, the scene folds itself away, like a curtain closing gently, and already, your mind is preparing the next one. In the fantasy, you catch a glimpse of a bolder version of yourself. That version nods back at you, then steps fully into the scene. Maybe you're rehearsing something real, a conversation, an interview, a moment. And in the fantasy, it always goes exactly the way you hoped. Back in reality, your lips move slightly, quietly rehearsing the real thing. You're standing
in front of a crowd, saying exactly what you meant to say. And this time, the crowd responds with the reaction you always wanted. Your chest rises with a breath that finally feels satisfied. There's the self you are right now, and the self you could become. Slowly, in your mind, those two versions start to overlap. You're not escaping reality. You're quietly rehearsing who you might become. Maybe you're facing something that scares you, head on, without flinching. And in the fantasy, you make it through completely intact. Your real fists unclench under the blanket, tension slipping away. You imagine crossing a finish line you haven't crossed yet. A faint smile appears, even as you're drifting closer to sleep. Athletes visualize their wins before they happen. Your brain does the same thing. And somewhere in the dark, that image quietly settles into you. Now picture someone sitting alone, while everyone else walks right past them. They check their phone. Nothing. No one reaching out tonight. And that's when the fantasy world quietly opens above their head. Inside it, they're surrounded by people who actually want them there. Outside, they're still alone. But the fantasy keeps getting bigger. For some people, fantasy isn't a treat. It's a replacement. Maybe that pattern started young, in a home that felt distant. As a kid, they built their own world just to feel safe inside it. That blanket fort from childhood slowly became this fantasy world today. Emotional neglect early in life often plants this habit long before we notice it. As an adult, hours slip by unnoticed while the fantasy plays on. It's 4 a.m. now, and the fantasy is only getting louder. The fantasy feels like a warm room. Reality feels like a cold hallway. Standing at the edge of both, it's hard to know which to choose. Occasional fantasy is healthy. Fantasy that takes over is something else. It pulls gently, like a current that's easy to stop resisting. Meanwhile, responsibilities quietly pile up, ignored in the background. The exhaustion starts to show, even if the fantasy never seems to age. Inside the fantasy, nothing ever gets tired. Nothing ever runs out. One version thrives. The other slowly runs on empty. It becomes a quiet war. Is this coping, or is this hiding? Sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at that glowing pull. This time they don't step inside. Not yet, anyway. The room goes still, and the fantasy quietly shrinks back. There are really two doors here, one occasional, one compulsive. The occasional door opens for a moment, then closes on its own. The compulsive door stays open, pulling more and more from you. Which one are you standing in front of most nights? Ask yourself, is this interfering with your actual sleep? Ask yourself, are you choosing this over real relationships? Ask yourself, are you using this to numb instead of recharge? The more honestly you answer, the clearer the pattern becomes. These 3 questions are worth asking yourself, honestly, tonight. Closing that second door doesn't happen all at once. It happens gently. The first door can stay cracked open. That one's allowed. Awareness alone is often the first real step back toward balance. So what does balance actually look like in practice? Start by writing down what you actually want from real life. Set a timer. Put the phone away. Give your mind a boundary. Reach out to someone real, even if it feels a little uncomfortable at first. A real conversation, even a short one, can quiet the pull significantly. Let yourself have a fantasy, just a small, intentional one. Let it end on its own, without needing to chase it further. Then let your eyes close, breathing steady, room calm around you. The imagined self and the real self don't have to compete anymore. And finally, real sleep. Deep, peaceful, and fully earned. Morning comes quietly, the dark giving way to soft light. You wake up lighter, like something finally settled overnight. Your mind at night isn't broken. It's trying to tell you something. Listen to it, instead of just escaping into it every time. What is your mind trying to give you that real life isn't? That's the real psychology behind pre-sleep fantasy. If this helped you understand your own mind a little better, subscribe. Mind Trigger. See you in the next one.